So I'm Udit Mediratta. I work with AB InBev, and at AB InBev, I lead marketing for what we call global brands. So global brands is basically Budweiser, Corona, and Stella Artois, and my mandate is for South Asia. I think there are a number of very interesting trends that are coming up. I think the proliferation of some of these new social media like TikTok, I think is definitely something that brands need to figure on how to leverage in 2020, right? So I think that's one that brands should definitely look at. I think the second thing is communities for me on digital. I think brands need to be creating these communities around themselves, and figuring the method and the consumer need sort of that they satisfy and the brand need. I think it's going to be an important one. But for brand love in the future, I think brands need to have communities around them. I think that's for me a really important one. Absolutely, a lot of stuff that you do on digital. How do you ensure, especially for a lot of brick and mortar brands like ours, how does that convert to sales? I think it's definitely going to be something that we would be figuring out in 2020 and beyond. But absolutely, digital is the medium of choice for young people in India. But how do you ensure we convert it to sales, to brand love effectively? I think it's going to be another big trend in my mind. Yeah, so absolutely, we talked about it in the panel, moment marketing is very critical and has to be a part of every brand marketeer's playbook in 2020 and beyond. But like I was saying, I think it needs to go beyond just a reaction, it needs to go beyond just a post. And I think there is potential. When you see potential in a moment, in an activation or a post that you've made, I think we need to be ready to blow it bigger, right? And I was giving that example that was done in the US with Bud Light, with the Dilly Dilly campaign, how it was organically picked up by a player. Bud Light latched onto it and created an activation of giving free beer away to the whole city of Philadelphia, right? So it's like you take an idea, if it gets traction, be ready to blow it up, create a whole campaign. I'll give examples of how not only did they create this activation of giving free beer away, but they also created limited edition packaging, right? So again, going beyond just one element of the marketing mix, how do you create almost like a 360? I think there's potential of taking moments and creating 360 campaigns, and we know that creates maximum impact for brands, right? I think there are challenges and there are opportunities. No, absolutely. I think absolutely the fact that a lot of mass media is not available to us to bring or to land the brand message makes us look at creative ways of landing the brand proposition. So you see, in our industry, we've invested a lot in brand experiences, right? So that's one way that we've tried to reach out to the relevant target audiences. In our case, music and football are big passion points, right? So we do a lot of screening parties on football. We sponsor and have our own music festivals. So that's one way in which we are, as an AlcoBev brand, landing the brand idea. I think the second thing is, like I was saying earlier, create those communities, creating those one-to-one, having the consumer data of the relevant audience, and then having those one-on-one conversations and interactions with them is another way in which our brands are trying to land with our consumers. I think finally, the third thing is just identifying further subcultures that you want to participate in. I think that's going to be really important in 2020 and beyond. And we figured, like I was saying, we figured music and football as being the subcultures that we're going to participate in. But I think that's another very important and critical element. How do you authentically participate in those subcultures to land the brand? I think is another method for AlcoBev brands. I think the conclave is great, up till now. So it's only been a couple of hours that started, but I think it was a great learning experience for me. And I was sitting on the panel on moment marketing, and I learned so much from all the diverse, group of panelists that you guys put together. So for me, I think it's a great learning experience, almost enlightening. And I am definitely looking forward to the rest of the agenda. I think it's a very well put together program. And yeah, it's the need of the hour, right? So digital, even though India still is very TV heavy, but like digital is definitely the future. Digital is where young people are, right? So if you're a brand focused on young people, I think absolutely digital is, you need to understand how it's evolving, and it's also the playing field changes so much that you need to be abreast of everything that's happening.